But I mentioned earlier that once I was involved in that car accident, the insurance company determined that my car was beyond repair and was therefore a total loss. One of the steps they took in order to determine the value of my car is what's called an appraisal. Let the church say appraisal. An appraisal is when somebody assesses or evaluates the value of something based upon the shape that it's in. For example, anybody who sold a home knows that part of the process is getting your property appraised. How much is the property worth? How does your property compare to other properties? What work does your property need in order to become more appealing to potential buyers? I point this out because as we look at the text, we see that when God asks Ezekiel in verse 3 of Ezekiel 37, can these bones live? God was essentially asking Ezekiel for an appraisal. God was rhetorically asking Ezekiel to evaluate the bones. God was rhetorically asking Ezekiel to assess the bones. But notice what Ezekiel says. Lord God, only you know. In other words, I am in no position to give these bones an appraisal. I am in no position to evaluate these bones. I am in no position to determine the worth and the value of these bones. Only you, Lord, can decide if these bones can still be used. Only you, Lord, can decide if these bones have any value. I can give my opinion. I can make a guess based on the little information that I've got, but at the end of the day, only you, Lord, can honestly and accurately answer that question. And I want to tell somebody today, listen to crazy Reverend Howard really carefully. Don't let people appraise you. Don't let people appraise you. Don't let people determine your worth. Don't let people determine your value. Don't let people tell you about how much you matter to the world, because that ain't up to them. Ezekiel had enough sense to recognize that that wasn't his place. But everybody ain't got Ezekiel's sense. Hello, somebody. Everybody ain't got Ezekiel's sense. There are all kinds of wannabe appraisers going around acting like their opinion is gospel. They know a little something about you. So now they think they know everything that you have to offer. They think they know everything that you bring to the table, everything that you could possibly be. They only know a little bit, but they think they decide what your future is. They see where we've been wounded. They see where we've been messed up. And they've decided to give us an appraisal based upon where we are right now. They look at us now and they say, those bones are dead. They look at us now and they say, what can God possibly do with that? They look at us now and they say, there is no way that he or she will ever be anything. They are a total loss. But the difference is, when people ask the question, can those bones live? They seriously have no idea. They seriously don't know the answer. They're not asking it in rhetorical fashion. They genuinely don't know if you or I have any value. Why? Because they don't know what God knows. They don't see what God sees. All we can see is where a person is now, but God can see what we were, what we are, and what we will be. God can see our present, but God can also see our future. He can also see our potential. And I don't know about you, but I don't want anybody who doesn't know everything about me telling me what I'm worth, because all they got is an opinion. God created me. They didn't. God designed me. They didn't. God called me. God equipped me. God saved my soul. They didn't. But so before anybody gets on their high horse thinking that they know better than God does about his creation, they need to check God's resume and recognize that can't nobody touch him, because don't nobody know what he knows. In short, my brothers and sisters, God's appraisal is the only appraisal that matters. So if you're listening to somebody else's appraisal, you need to block that out your mind right now, because can't nobody give you a true appraisal aside from the God that created you. People can give you their opinions. People can give you their thoughts. People can project their insecurities upon you. But at the end of the day, nobody but the Lord determines what we are worth.